Dear Myanmar, it's been 5 months since we met. Our friendship turned out to be very special for me. At first, I can't say that I was looking forward to meeting you, Myanmar. I was both scared and curious. But in time, I learned how to love it. Contradictions. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. But Myanmar military overthrew government last year. It sparked violent protests around the country, and the military silencing the protests with force. Even during our stay, we could hear the bombs exploding. Yet, despite all this chaos, the people of Myanmar were very kind and friendly to me. I was allowed to explore Burmese culture and discover the beauty of the culture. What did I really enjoy? This was my first experience working abroad. My international community was unbelievably kind. In just 5 months, I managed to meet incredible people from around the world, working at various NGOs and Red Cross. During this time, I was running my personal coaching business from home, sometimes from coffee shops. At home, I had a beautiful view of the panoramic windows on the weather. It was hard finding good coffee shops where we lived in Yangon. But nevertheless, I managed to find a few comfortable cafes to get things done, like Rangoon Tea House and Burma Bistro. Check out my food video if you're curious about food and restaurants in Yangon. But mostly, I enjoyed Myanmar's connection to Buddhism and Eastern philosophy. I was certainly impressed by Shwedagon Pagoda. A pagoda is like a religious site or temple for Buddhists. The entire monument is made from solid gold. It's massive and it's quite unbelievable to comprehend. While parts of Myanmar were in chaos, Shwedagon always had a peaceful atmosphere. During these 5 months, I didn't get to travel as much as I would like to, but I managed to get some trips in. I got a chance to visit Baoko. It's a small town just outside of Yangon. We got to interact with local people and children on the streets. Their smiles warmed my heart. And we also got to visit Ngapali. Ngapali is more of a tourist destination full of 5-star hotels and restaurants, but because of the country's political situation, the tourists were not really here. So we got a chance to visit some pretty empty beaches, which is always a plus. Oh, and Ngapali is some of the best seafood I've ever tasted. Looking at you, Mr. Jun, what I did not enjoy. I wish I got a chance to travel more around Myanmar. Due to the military situation, buses and trains did not allow foreigners to travel. We were not sure whether it was a choice made by government or maybe locals who didn't want us there, but the only way we could travel was by flight. And this may sound backwards, but flights in Myanmar are ridiculously expensive right now, which is shocking compared to how old and scary the planes are. Another annoyance of Myanmar were the power outages. Sometimes the power were cut out 4 or 5 hours a day. I was fortunate enough to have the power outage scheduled in advance so I could plan my daily errands accordingly, but it was still a huge annoyance. It's kind of hard to run a business when you can't turn on your laptop. Lastly, but certainly not least, I was really bothered by extreme poverty. Not so much about the idea that poverty exists, but more about how the country has immense access to wealth. It's strange to drive through downtown in Yangon, seeing some of the worst living conditions you can imagine, then to arrive at a Michelin restaurant. There are very, very, very wealthy areas and people here, and for some reason, they don't care about millions of people who have nothing. Myanmar is a country full of precious resources like gold and emeralds, but I guess it's the same problem as you see in other countries. Final reflections. Overall, living in Myanmar was a powerful experience for me. I noticed myself growing in unseen ways. I was not only observing this place, I was also observing myself in this place. After a fast and always busy life in Moscow, Myanmar managed to calm and harmonize my mind. I began to pay more attention to life and its small details. Additionally, Myanmar became a place where I began to take serious steps towards setting up my business and seeing results. Also in Myanmar, I began to seriously taking care of my body. I began going to the gym consistently and monitoring my nutrition. And it was in Myanmar that I got engaged. Dear Yangon, thank you for this unique and special time. I hope our paths cross again one day, and when I return, you will have grown and developed in unseen ways. And when this meeting happens, I hope to see more peace on your streets. Sincerely yours, Anastasia. If you want to follow my travels, make sure to subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.